Hi everyone, today we're going to be using our Glowforge Laserprinter to make our keychains that we make for our portfolio show. So let's get started. First of all, you're going to need access to our Glowforge. We have a couple of them here at COD. You are also going to need access to the Glowforge app, some material. In our case, we are using maple board. It's project board, and I'll link to that in the description so everybody knows what we're doing. And then also just some way to make it a keychain. We get these things off of Amazon. They're like these, just little metal clasps and things like that. But most importantly, this is going to be a pretty quick video. What we're trying to do is just set up our file. So we have a very simple keychain design here, and we do that for a reason, because we do make a lot of these and we give them out at the portfolio show, and then we also give them out at when high schools come around, just a little memento. So I just want to talk about the file setup process for our keychains. So anything you see here, like this is a stroke, so this will be cut in the Glowforge. Anything that is a fill, that will be actually engraved. So we have to do a little bit of file setup here, because we are going to save this as an SVG file, and the reason why we do that is that's just how Glowforge reads it. We're going to pull this in as a SVG, and it's going to know that we need to cut this line and we need to engrave this fill. So as you can see, I've got a little bit of live text here. And if you're familiar with the Adobe products, you are probably familiar with creating outline text. So now that that is a fill and we have our stroke, we are pretty much ready to print. All we have to do is save this as an SVG, and we could print that right away. But I went ahead and I prepared this because we do this every year. I prepared a bigger file here. So this has like 56 keychains on it, and we can print this all at once. So with that being said, if we go to the Glowforge app, it's just app.glowforge.com. You'll have your login credentials and things like that, and we'll come to a screen that looks like this. This is actually a live view of what is in the Glowforge. Now, what I have here, I put some like this large, it's essentially masking tape. If you're familiar with screen printing, it's kind of like a palette tape. What this is going to do is prevent scorching. So when we print out or engrave the graphic design at COD like logo there, it won't have these little burn marks that come from the laser bouncing off the wood. So I'm going to add my artwork. I'm going to pull it from another screen here, and this is just an SVG file. It's that file that I just created. Looks like this. And now Glowforge, the app, is thinking. So when we're doing this, we use a cheaper wood than the actual Glowforge supply. This is actually, let's see, this is the actual board that we use. It's a 10 pack, and this is $48 for 10 sheets of this wood. So the reason why we're doing that is it's just a little bit cheaper than the Glowforge material. But the only caveat there is that you have to be able to kind of dial in your settings. Luckily, we have done that because we have been doing this for some time now. So you'll also notice that we have a max size here. So in here, I think you can do about 13 by 19. So I want to make sure that I'm not in here. I want to make sure that I'm kind of like out of that, I guess, safety zone. So I've got my artwork placed just how I want it. And now, as you see here, this automatically picks up that this is the artwork layer. And what we can do first, instead of doing unknown material, instead of doing any of this, we can click on this button that's uncertified material. We're going to set this to 1/4 inch. Even though our wood is an 1/8 inch, we just want to be sure that when we do this, because we do 56 of them at a time, it takes a while to print this. It's probably going to take about an hour, that this cuts all the way through. We don't want to have to go back and try to cut it again. It's just not, a productive use of time. So if I put in that 1/4 inch right there for the material height, and then I can go down to these custom settings. So what I can do is actually add my own. If you come down here, you see manual, and then you can actually set what you want. So for our engrave, this is what we're doing. We've got a speed of 1,000, so that's going to go fast. It's going to engrave it fast, but then we're also going to put it at full power. We're not going to change any of these. If you change lines per inch, just as you might imagine, same as if you are doing a raster-based image and you have DPI involved, the less lines per inch, the less definition you are going to get. So these settings look pretty good, and actually what I'm going to do is save these as keychain settings. So I save that, the engraving's ready, and now let's enter our cut settings, and this is kind of the same thing. So if I go down here and I click on manual, I can do 150 for the speed and then full power. So this is going to take its time kind of going around. It's just going to ensure that all of our keychains are going to cut properly. So if I click off of here, everything's kind of looking how it should. You see, if I go over this safety line, kind of like this like no zone, I guess you could say, these turn red. So if these turn red, that means that they're not going to print correctly. So now everything is as it should be, and I'm going to click ready, or I'm sorry, print. So now what's going to happen is that it's kind of focusing the camera on the material, and it's going to take a little bit of time here, so I might pause and fast forward this. So just 1 second. So as you can see, it takes a little while to kind of think. We've got a lot of data in there, a lot of information that the Glowforge is recognizing, and this is going to take 1 hour and 14 minutes. Before we even hit print, I do want to mention that, you know, somebody is always going to be in the graphic design lab, but if you are somebody that's not a graphic design student, if you are finding us from somewhere else, there are certain things that you need to take into consideration, such as the air filter. We have an air filter that hooks up to our Glowforge, and, you know, we don't have to run this outdoors. So everything is all in one unit, and again, I'll link to the link in the description so we can, you know, kind of get the full effect of how you start from the ground up, from booting up the machine and things like that. But we just wanted to get this out here so everybody knows how to make these keychains in the long run there. So with that being said, we're going to switch over to the Glowforge view. So every one of our keychains cut just like they should, and our engravings are looking great. And the last thing to do is actually just put on the little keychain clasp that we have. Other than that, just remember that engrave is a fill and cut is a stroke, and that's all there is to it. If you have any questions, let us know.